Welcome to Yacht Crew Vlogs, where we tell the stories of those in the yachting industry. A behind-the-scenes look that discovers the individuals in the industry, their history, their passions, and what inspires them to do what they do.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome my next guest, Eva Veldkamp. She is leading a COPE working group on psychological safety, bullying, and sexual harassment in maritime. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Nice. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your background. You have worked in maritime in the past.
Yes, I started out my career working for Maersk Lines on the big container vessels as a maritime officer. That's the dual licensed officer, so both in the engine room and on the bridge. And then I got a few other maritime jobs. And now I ended up working for Flag State and a maritime school. So
nice. So what brought about COPE? Why was it necessary? Why is this something that is sort of being done now?
Well, so COPE stands for the Center for Ocean Policy and Economics. And it was founded by Northeast Maritime Institute, which is the maritime school I also work with. And yes, it was founded to just solve some of that we call the wicked problems in the maritime sector. And I think that what you just introduced, like bullying and sash and everything were bad, like behaviors that are going on in the maritime sector right now are a very wicked problem. And I think I'm just so glad that we have the opportunity to create some action and some change with this, using COPE as a tool for that. So, yeah.
What are you hoping the end results to be with COPE?
Well, that's a good question. Because, we gathered a lot of people from a lot of big different backgrounds. So, for example, we have IMO member states in our working group. We have NGOs in our working group. We have subject matter experts like psychologists and gender experts. And they're all having some kind of relation to the maritime sector, or they sailed themselves, like they worked on ships themselves. So they have the feeling and connection to it. And I think that's just the best thing ever, because then you have a chance to work from the heart, right? To just make things happen because you feel like they need to change. And I think it's a very hard question about what our ultimate goal is, because our ultimate goal is that everybody is happy to work where they want to work, like a very happy, shiny world. Yes, but that's such a big goal, and I think we just have to take the small steps getting there, and every small step is a goal in itself, I think, because what I notice now is that even talking about it creates so much good energy and also perspective for people. So yes, that's also a goal.
Are you looking to make legal policy changes then in the maritime industry?
Yes, well, we started out now. Our first project was to amend an IMO model course on personal safety and social responsibility. And we did that. We worked a year on that together with all people from the group as a collective. And resulting from that amendments on the model course, we transferred that language into the SSCW tables, like the relating tables. And last week, we submitted a proposal to the HCW 9 subcommittee, that's on human element training and watchkeeping, to amend the SSCW to have more language about psychological safety, so that it can be mentally and psychologically safe for people to work in their workplace, and they are educated about that, so that how to behave, how to be safe, how to speak up, how to lead, how to be a decent human being, and how you're supposed to act with each other, and how you're supposed to interact, and how you're supposed to be a safe team. And I think it starts with education. But what we noticed also is that a lot of this stuff relates to the ISM code as well, because there's a lot that leadership can do and that companies can do. So I think that might be a good next step to do within the IMO. So yes, we are trying to do it from the whole, like they say, as a holistic approach. So also the legal aspects we take. And that's, I think, is just amazing, because that means real change, right? So you can make sure that so that nobody is left out. And I think that's also what is needed, because you cannot, if you want to have a diverse and equal, accepted industry, you just have to do it all together. You have to work together. You can leave nobody out, because that's not equal and diverse, I think.
Let me ask you, why is it that the maritime industry is really so far behind in policies like this? Because when we talk about land-based businesses, there are so many, paths and avenues and support that you can find if you're dealing with any of these issues, and legal ramifications as well within the workplace. Why is maritime so far behind?
Yes. Well, I thought about it a lot, actually, and I think there's different answers to that question. First of all, I think it's really easy to hide things at sea. So you just don't know what you don't see sometimes. So in general, people don't realize that every banana they buy in the shops is brought there by a seafarer, for example. So it's easy to forget about the whole sector in general. So I think it's a really big issue. And next to that, I think what also, like from within the sector, it seems to be that the maritime sector likes to hold on to old things, like being conservative. And I gave that a lot of thought a while ago. And I thought it's also good to hold on to old things sometimes, because, when you're working on a ship and you have a total blackout or something, or you're in some kind of weird emergency where nothing works anymore. For example, you learn how to navigate from the stars, right? You still have to learn that in school. That's not making any sense, because if you think of it like in modern days, because satellites swarm around our globe, so why do you have to still learn that? But if you learn the old things, you can hold on to that when it's getting really scary. So I think because you can rely on that, and I think that's just something that the maritime sector and most seafarers are used to, but it doesn't mean that you have to hold on to it and not try new things, or be open to what you don't know, be open to the future and to what else is there. And I think there's a very big opportunity for the whole maritime sector to take that chance, because if you can do both, then you're really powerful, right? You have both, and I think we are already doing it. So why can't we just expand it more? I think that will be.
I guess it's a matter of hanging on to the traditions and the teachings from the past that are positive, and letting go of the rest, and moving forward, replacing those that weren't positive and weren't helpful with new teaching.
Yeah, like trial and error. If something doesn't work and somebody's hurt from it, I think that's also what we like to learn. I think if you notice that something hurts somebody or something else, then you should stop it. Or you should just at least be curious about why somebody experiences pain or anger or something, or fear. And I think that's just trial and error. If you just try something and you see that someone is unhappy with something or hurt, then please be curious and ask why. And then maybe next time you can alter your behavior, make sure that, and you don't have to please everybody. That's not what I mean, but you can at least be considerate, right? And then you can grow together, because then the other person will feel better. And then you might have an opportunity to learn something from the other person, or to work together into creating something that you didn't realize or didn't know before. I think there's a very big chance if you have a safe environment, to to get people on board and be amazed about what they can do and what they can bring also.
Are you planning on perhaps in the future setting up, say, a safe space where seafarers and all seafarers, including yachting, including shipping, will there eventually be a safe place for them to go to report issues that they're having or to find the right person that will be able to address those issues?
Yes, well, that's a very big thing right now, I think. Because our working group just started focusing on the education, like I said, but now we also would like to do more regarding the reporting mechanisms, because something doesn't work, right? The system is broken because it doesn't work. So we have to figure out a way to work together to make these things, to hold people accountable. I think that's the biggest thing, because sometimes something happens, something terrible happens. And even if it's reported, the people who did it are not held accountable. So they can even do it again, maybe. And that's not how it should be. So, and I just think and also believe that if something is broken, you should at least try to fix it. And I think this is such a, because the ocean knows no borders, right? So it's just such a expensive problem because it relates to flag states, port states, companies, persons, authorities, police, law, everything. So in order to solve that, we have to really listen to each other and we have to open up and we have to be uncomfortable and we have to be brave enough to be uncomfortable as well, because, you have to look at yourself, see, oh, maybe I did something that can be better, and then there's an opportunity for us all to build something that does work. And then we can be safe. Because if you have a safety, if you have something to hold on to, then you can feel safe also. And you can just let go of the tension and you can just do your work.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think that's just it.
So you do plan on having something set up where people can report what's going on throughout the maritime industry eventually?
Yes. Yeah. So we're not sure exactly what it is because, like I said, the problem is so expensive. So we have to really figure out a good way to do it, because you can talk about it a lot and you can say, yes, we are doing this and that. But I have to be honest, it's a wicked problem. So we have to work together. So if somebody listens to this and has a good idea, please let us know. And because I think that we need each other and we need to know each other's perspectives. And then we can figure out something that really works.
Well, there seems to be, small groups here and there, maybe in the States or maybe in Europe. And there's not one cohesive place where all seafarers and maritimers can say, if you have any issue, this is where you go to report it. They will take care of you from there.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. And I think in order to make sure that every seafarer has that knowledge and is aware of, it needs to be one place, not 10 different places. Or because if you've got a whole pile of different places to go, it's very easy for those different places to pawn you off that we don't deal with that. Go see these people. And you end up doing this never ending circle without coming to a conclusion. Whereas if there is one spot that will deal with it all, I think that would just be a much better conclusion.
Yes, that I'm totally on your page. I think that's what we would like, right? That there's just one unified place, and also that you feel unified together, I think. And yes, so that would be wonderful if we can do something like that, because that will solve it. But I'm really not sure. I cannot see it yet how we can achieve that. But I think a lot of people, and that's just the nicest thing, a lot of people have the same understanding of what's needed, what will really help, what will heal us all. They have the understanding of that, but they cannot see the practical tools to achieve that understanding yet. But it doesn't matter. They will try anyway, because they have a belief that it can be done or something. And if you connect those people, like we do in the working group right now, if you connect those people and you just talk about that, and brainstorm a little bit and just dream maybe also, and make it practicable. So, we can start doing this, and then just take that first thread, just start with it. And then we noticed that you can really do something, because we did it last year, because we proposed, raised awareness for this issue within IMO. A lot of people behind the scenes said to us, you just have to, this just goes with the maritime sector, right? This is just not an issue. It's just the way it was before. Just not. So all those kinds of nasty things. I don't like to talk about nasty things, by the way. So I'm finding it even hard to find words for it. But what we also noticed is that a lot of people just really liked it. So they resonated with what we said. They said, you are actually right. Thank you for raising this issue. And then can we help you also? So they got on board. Also, other member states and organizations did their own thing. They thought about it for themselves, and they thought, oh, yes, maybe we can do this. So we just pointed something out, lit something up, and then it created awareness around that. And now it's taking forward. So the Maritime Safety Committee in April decided that bullying, the sexual assault and harassment in the maritime sector needed to be dealt with inside of the SSCW, so for mandatory training provisions with priority. And that happened this year. So it's not just a dream. It's not just something that we think of. It's something that happened. It's reality now. So now we can do something.
Yeah, it's exciting because, it does have to start at a legal level. It has to be something that is made mandatory. And that's a start, because then there's awareness. On the other hand, there also has to be a place where people can go to for help or report things that are going wrong, because you can't have one without the other. There needs to be both.
Yeah, you're totally right. We just started out with education and raising awareness, but you're totally right. We should take all of the aspects into our consideration and just make it better. So we can use all the help, to be honest. And the nicest thing is that our group is out of volunteers. So everybody's in there because they believe it's the best thing to do, and they just are part of it because they really like to be there and like to work on their free time on these issues. And I think that's just really amazing. I'm so grateful that we have an opportunity to do this, because that means that you also don't have some weird hidden agenda to be inside of a group, because and a whole
it gets
being
political.
Attached to it. Yeah, it's not. We noticed that it's not, because it comes from the heart, and that's from something that we all share. I think that's it. It's not polarized. It's diff. You call that in English?
Community. Yeah.
Okay.
Eva, I want to say thank you very much for your time. It's been very much appreciated. And if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to check out COPE, is there a website? Is there a way that they can get in touch?
Yes, of course. Yes, our website is thecope.org. So you can go there and take a look. And you can find our group within the project of COPE. But you can also look me up on LinkedIn, for example, and send me a DM. Because I'm always happy to talk with everybody and share our knowledge, or to share information if you like. Yes, or you can take a look at the website of Northeast Maritime Institute, of course. Yes, so I hope that people will do that, because I think what we notice, the feedback we get from people is that they are really happy to know that they're not alone, and that, something really happens. Because sometimes it can be so depressing to, see what happens in the world and see, the setbacks we see sometimes in the news, or the terrible things that happen in your own world and also in the maritime sector sometimes, and just makes you so sad, and also sometimes creates the feeling that there's no hope or something. But there is. So please don't feel afraid to just speak up, connect with each other and say what you have to say, because I think that's really very important to do.
Well, we're going to provide all of the links below this interview when it airs. And I do encourage anybody that has a passion to see perhaps how you can become part of this working group to make a change in maritime law so that it's not left up to individuals. It is literally law, and to protect seafarers, because they're so important, more important than I think anybody actually realizes. As you stated, you go into the grocery store and you grab yourself a banana, and that's there because there was a seafarer out there that made sure you got your banana that day.
Yes.
So we need to support them as much as possible. So Eva, thank you, and good luck in the future with this project. And I want to help. So I'm there.
Thank you so much. Yes, and we're so grateful to have you. We're so grateful to have you as part of our group as well. And thank you for having us on the show as well. It's such an important topic, and it's really near and dear to my heart. And I think sometimes people are getting sick of hearing me bang on about it all. But you know what? I'm going to continue to bang on about it until it fits. Yes, thank you. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for also helping us to raise our voice like that, because that's quite special. Thank you. You have been listening to Eva Veldkamp. She is leading a COPE working group on psychological safety, bullying, and sexual harassment in the maritime sector. As mentioned, all the details will be below this interview when it airs. My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next time.